Bawip Grana Weep Ninny Bong, I'm Engineer Hoist, and welcome to our weekly Transformers Earth Wars news stream. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat who arrived Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube. PB2 is here, Fitz19, Silverbolt 94, Super VH, Monkey Man, a lot of familiar faces, Brady Banta, Lurimus Prime, SG Soundwave. Let's see, William Wilkinson, CB 1145. Boss Man is here, and a few more people I think will be showing up. And welcome. We're here to talk about Transformers Earth Wars. Surprisingly, I have no crystals to crack this week. I basically took the weekend off in the game. I was busy doing other stuff, so don't really have any crystals. Bundles didn't really excite me then or at all during the week. So this is a little short news day. And then we'll go. But we do have some news to talk about, so how about we go ahead and do that. This weekend's event is called Ripple in Time. Gather your alliance and take part in the weekend's event to win up to 2,500 4-star shards. Yes, that's right. That is a full 4-star crystal this weekend. 4,000 3-star shards, that's 2 3-star crystals, 20,000 premium shards, I think you can do the math on that one, 100,000 spark, 50,000 combiner and combat spark, 5 gold power chips, and a G-metal power core chip. So, very cool. It is a Alliance event, as it said in that last slide. It's one big prize list, a totalizer. It starts at the usual Friday start time, ends at the usual Monday stop time. And it's super XP throughout the weekend, so good time to go get some leveling done on your bots and hopefully on your brand new shiny 4-star bot that you get from the event. You got to be headquarters level 4 and be in an alliance to participate. You hit the yellow event button, pick your zone, win the battle, win the points, get the prizes. Awesome. Standard battle zones for this weekend, and here's a summary of the prizes. The 4-star shards do come at a fairly reasonable level, 105,000 points. Many alliances can reach that, so there are going to be a lot of 4-star crystals being cracked this weekend or later on in the week, like say on next Wednesday on this stream, because you know I usually save the crystals to crack for you guys. But yeah, it's going to be a duplicate for me, almost certainly, because I have a lot of them. But hopefully, it's not a dupe for you. Yeah, and yeah, 5 gold power cores, and you can see the prizes. Those are the points that you need. That's if you want to collect all of them. The prizes are available all throughout the the point levels. So starting very early, even well before the 105,000, and all up through there. But those are the top levels, and if your alliance goes beyond 505,000 and get that G-metal power core, you can continue on. I think it's to 1 million, and you get total spark crystals. which are very popular. And here's what's in there. It's the same thing that's been in there for a while now. An equal chance at either 5,000, 7,500, or 10,000 Spark, Combiner Spark, or Combat Spark. And the next bit of news is we're getting some new combat bots, and it's a little surprising that these guys are going to be combats, but I can understand a little bit because they are little guys. First up is Rat Trap. We're all gonna die. That's what he says in Beast Wars. So wily, resourceful, and a master at detecting and eluding hidden traps, Rat Trap may lack the social graces and stoical forbearance of some Maximals, but there's no denying his loyalty and courage. His biting wit and sarcasm tend to alienate him from his comrades in arms. And here is the most recent Rat Trap that we got from in the Kingdom line. He is a core class, which is a little bit slower, or a little bit smaller bot, which is probably why they went with the combat bot. Luke, thanks for the super chat. And let's see. Yeah, so there he is. And what else can I say? He's a rat. He stores his tail nicely on his back there. And so it'll be cool to see how he works out as a combat bot there. And let's head back over to the news for a moment. There's Jazz dancing. Boy, that alert is just really slow, isn't it? Where were we? There we go. Alright, so his counterpart for the Decepticons, or the Predacons, if you will, is Vertebrake. Though barely more than bones and sinew, Vertebrake makes up for her lack of flesh with an abundance of speed, stealth, ferocity, and venom. Once her jaws clamp down on a victim's limb, they're very hard to pry off, and in the end, what gives is usually the limb itself. Vertebrake was not in the Beast Wars cartoon that I'm aware of. But she does have a figure in the Kingdom line. It was one of the very first core class figures. There's her alt mode there. So this is Vertebrake in her alt mode. You guys know what Rat Trap looks like, but so I figured I'd show off Vertebrake in her alt mode. It also helps that I already had her in her alt mode, so not that the transformation is difficult, but I figured I'd go ahead and show that off there. So there you go. And that's basically it for the news. We do stream Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube. There's the link if you happen to be watching this somewhere else. And you can also follow me at Engineer Hoist on Instagram and Twitter for infrequent behind-the-scenes content. And that'll do it. Okay, thanks for coming. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and transform Vertebrake here for everybody. So it's a core class figure. Pretty easy to work this out. Why are the arms not doing what I want them to do? There they go. Alright, so here is Vertebrake in her robot mode. And in the game they left the tail on in the model. If we go back over there, you can see they kind of left the tail on in her robot mode, but on the toy you can actually separate the tail and it becomes a weapon. There you go. So there is Vertebrake. Very cool. Soldier, Joey Johnston, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Yeah, it's a Alliance event. We're going to be getting a free 4-star crystal if your Alliance hits 105,000. And beyond that, we learned that the new combat bots are going to be these core class figures who were in the first wave of the Kingdom line, Rat Trap and Vertebrake for the Maximal / Autobots and Decepticon / Predacons. So that brings up an interesting question, and this is a joke here, but core class figures are now being combat bots. So does that mean we're going to get a combat bot of Optimus Prime because he's a core? This is a core class figure of him. Could you imagine an Optimus Prime as a little miniature Optimus Prime running around as a combat bot? That would be pretty funny. It's not going to happen, but it would be pretty funny. Imagine equipping Combat Optimus to normal Optimus, and just have like a mini me running around. Yeah. So, what's up, Grind Time? Thanks for getting here. Yeah, we just went through the news. We talked about the event. We talked about Rat Trap and Vertebrake, and I got no crystals. So, yeah, that's basically the news stream. So now we're in hangout mode. So, yeah, the Vertebrake has been used for a number of other different figures. I remember, yeah, Super VH is right on there about the Beast Hunters toy. I know in the Beast Hunters, the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters, there was a figure called Vertebrake. That was my first time I saw that name. It was kind of a yellow monster-looking thing, and I still have it somewhere. But I didn't look into history to see if it was has a Robots in Disguise figure too. Oh, okay, that'd be cool, pretty cool. But yeah, so this is definitely not the first Vertebrake that I've heard of, nor the first that I've owned. But this is the most current version, and she's kind of like a fossilizer, you know, like Paleo Trex. And I couldn't remember his name last week until afterwards. But yeah, Paleo Trex or Ractonite, except those guys come apart and can be used as weapons. She's just a standard little figure. And in her alt mode, she actually kind of almost looks like Slash, like a skeleton of Slash. So I don't know, maybe we'll call her like Bony Slash or something, or we'll just call her Vertebrake. Don't think she got a figure, but took Sideswipe's body in the show. Okay. Slash doesn't like Vertebrake. Yeah, probably not. So if you leave her tail off, then she's just basically like a little lizard with no tail, or a little lizard skeleton, I guess. So yeah, the head shape is a little different. So it's not a Velociraptor. I forget what they said this was. Some kind of like you know, I don't know if it was a real type of a dinosaur or if it was just like an imaginary one or something. But it's not a Velociraptor, although it looks very much like one. So but we can pretend it's like a Bony Slash. Or not. Grind Time says, "Hey Hoist, looking forward to seeing you on Waz's stream." Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that. Yeah, so I'm going to be a guest over on Sunstreaker Waz's stream. I wasn't sure if he had put that out yet. It's on one of his Sunday streams. I don't think it's this weekend. I think it's next weekend, like the end of the month. So yeah, it's going to be a good time chatting with him on the stream there. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Fitz says, "Can't wait for dupe 5 stars to get 6-star shards." Get out of here. We don't talk about 6-star shards. We don't talk about 6 stars. We're going to keep it at 5 stars, and that's it. We don't need any more. We don't need 6 stars. William Edward Hackman says Optimus Prime's component roller could be a combat bot later in the future. That would be a pretty cool idea. That would be cool. instead of a mini Optimus, which is obviously a joke, Roller though might be actually pretty good. I wonder who would be his counterpart though. Is there any other? I think there was, at one point it may have just been a toy, but I think Soundwave had like a what I want to say it's called Auto Scout. It was like a tape turned into basically just like a little rover. It may have actually been in the. I almost want to say I saw it in a show once. So I mean, you could partner, pair that with Roller, and then you could have those be combat bots. Yeah. Grand Galvatron's here. Good to see you. Thoughts on Rat Trap's combat status? Well, he is a small little dude. The core class figures. Yeah, you missed my joke. I was joking. It's like, well, we've got Rat Trap and Vertebrake are 2 core class figures who've become combat bots now. So I said, well, we've got Optimus Prime as a core class figure. Or when's the Optimus Prime combat bot? Yeah, definitely a joke. Not gonna happen. But yeah, I know a lot of people were hoping to see Rat Trap as like a playable character, including myself. I mean, he is kind of a main cast. It was never really like a partner minion type of a thing. So I would have expected him to be a playable character as opposed to a combat. I do think these guys are going to be like companion bots. Look like the Ravage and Night Stalker or Red Heat and Bomb Shock. The little bots that run around. I think they're going to be that type. That totally makes sense. So you are going to see them on the battlefield as something more than just a weapon. So in a way, they are still their own characters. They just kind of got to tag along with one of the other ones. So maybe go pair Rat Trap with Optimus Primal, Monkey Prime. I don't think you'll be seeing him riding on his back or anything like he did in the show that one time. Yeah, wasn't there a scene in the show where Primal was riding on Rhinox and Rat Trap was riding on Primal? Just kind of like a stack of Maximals. That's pretty funny. William Wilkinson's asking, who was the little white robot that was stored in Optimus' chest? Couldn't he be a combat bot? Oh, in Power Masters, High Q, I think was the name, like HI-Q. It was his Power Master partner. I want to say that's right. It's been a very, very long time. So yeah, any kind of Power Master partners would certainly be candidates for combat bots, because that's kind of what these combat bots are kind of doing. They're powering up the bot that you put them on, just like a Power Master would do. Not exactly like a Power Master, because they turn into little engines or something, and you plug them into their chest or their shoulder or back or wherever, depending on the figure, to unlock some super secret extra mode or something. So yeah, so what's going on, Nexus Maximus? Good to see you. Thanks for coming here. SG Soundwave says, or they could make the Star Saber and Dark Star Saber combat weapons. Those are a little different though, because those are just weapons. The combat bots are more of the, like, they essentially target masters is what they started off with, but then we've also gone to the companion bots like the cassettes and the minicons and stuff like that, and they were always everyone that's come in has been its own little individual bot itself. It's got a robot mode, whether it's a beast robot mode or standard humanoid robot mode. They have that, but then they also have some other alternate mode that could be used as a power up. It could be a gun, it could be a cassette, it could be a rat or a bony skeleton, a dinosaur skeleton or something. Whereas the Star Saber and the Dark Star Saber, like you're saying, those were just weapons. They were non-sentient weapons. Well, yeah, the argument for sentience would, you could probably argue that they can tell, if it's a prime or not, but it's not a bot. It doesn't have an intelligence necessarily, so I would say probably not the Star Saber or the Dark Star Saber. Super VH is helping us out with some previous versions of Vertebrae. Let's go ahead and go check that out. So there is the RID version of Vertebrae. Oh, is this the RID 2015? I must have missed that episode. Yeah, I think the last season I didn't see a lot of. Or maybe I just missed it. And SG Soundwave helped us out with... that's the Beast Wars version. Or the... No, not the Beast Wars. The Transformers Prime Beast Hunters version. That's the one I have there. And that's a crazy price for it. I might want to go sell mine if people are actually paying that much for it. Armada Star Saber and Dark Star Saber. Okay, well, see that I'm not aware of. I haven't gotten that far into Armada. I'm like maybe 4 or 5 episodes in. Good power core for Mirage. I can't think of anything specific other than like a standard. Volatile mixture would help because his stun rockets do actually cause a fair amount of damage, especially at a high level. So volatile mixture would cause him to do even more damage. You could certainly do, flak jacket if you've got nothing else, or a rejuvenate, or you could put a prime core on him. If you do use them a lot, you might put a prime core on them, like maybe an Alpha Trion or something. So. Nexus Max was asking, who's your favorite Prime, not including Optimus or Hot Rod? Monkey Prime. We'll say Monkey Prime. Monkey Prime. I mean, I would say Hot Rod. But Hot Rod more than Rodimus Prime, but Optimus is great. Rodimus Prime second, definitely. But if I couldn't pick them, yeah, definitely Monkey Prime. Although he wasn't really a Prime. I guess in the Prime Wars trilogy, the fans did a vote to have him be the next Prime. But even in the show, I don't think they actually made him a Prime. They made him like a guardian of the whatever relic MacGuffin they were trying to get. But was he actually a Prime in the show? I can't remember. I flushed most of that show because it just wasn't very good. Yeah, Monkey Prime is definitely a good figure. Blurimus Prime, yes. Blurimus Prime's up there. Right up there with Hoistimus Prime. It's funny, where did this, it's kind of funny. Rodimus Prime from Hot Rod, started this trend. So basically, it is a tradition. So if you're not a Prime and you get elevated to the rank of Prime, you have to take some portion of your original name, add Emus, and then Prime at the end. So that's why you got Blurimus, Hoistimus. I've even seen like there's that picture floating around on various Transformers Facebook groups of it's an old Volkswagen Beetle with a camper, and it fits perfectly under the camper and it attaches like to the top of the hood. So, and that's the other thing, when you're a Prime, you become a truck and you get a trailer. So that Volkswagen Beetle with a trailer, people were saying that's Bumblemus Prime. So, which I thought was hilarious, and I still think it's hilarious. That hence why it has stuck into my head as a random memory. So, yeah. Yeah, it's Super VH. Yeah, like, see, you could tell Ultra Magnus wasn't actually the Prime because he did not become Magnusus Prime. He was just still Ultra Magnus. He was always just a caretaker of the Matrix. He was never actually the Prime because he was just Ultra Magnus. So he wasn't Magnusus Prime or Magamus Prime or whatever it would change to. But he was Ultra. He was Ultra. So you got to give him credit for being Ultra at least. He can't deal with the Prime rank right now, indeed. Yeah, Nemesis Prime. That was that's a good call there, Lord Monk. I think that was more of a play on words because it was more like a dark Optimus. So he was like a nemesis, and they just slapped the Prime name on it because it looked like Optimus. That's probably why it doesn't quite fit the tradition, because he's not really Prime. He was Prime in name only, not in reality. At least that's what we're going to go with in this stream. Yeah, he was a clone. Yeah, exactly. Imus Prime. So if you had no name before and you become Prime, then you would just be Imus Prime. Yep. Oh, we got everybody with their Prime names. I'm surprised that's not like a Facebook game or something to steal your all your personal data. What's your Prime name? Enter your name and telephone and bank account number here, and then it'll just take your first name and add a Imus Prime. DJ Gaiman, thank you for subscribing. Good to have you here. Yeah, so we say Rat Trap. Would that be Rat Trapimus Prime, or would it just be like Ratimus Prime or Trapimus Prime? Soundwavimus Prime. They'd probably drop that and be like Soundimus or Wavimus. Because remember, Hot Rod wasn't Hot Rodimus Prime. He was just Rodimus. He dropped the hot. He wasn't hot anymore. You know, because when you become a leader, you're not so hot. I don't know. Yeah, they did really have that tradition for the Decepticons. Although I suppose, yeah, Megatron, Galvatron. So you guys are saying like Hoistatron. But if Starscream ever did become leader of the Decepticons, I guarantee you he would not change his name to Screamatron. He would just still be Starscream. Hotimus Prime. Yeah, that would be the other option for Hot Rod. Nexus Maximus, where do you come in with the list of the favorite primes? Oh, you're talking like, I suppose, yeah, like, if you're talking about like the Nexus Prime Core, you're 12, buddy. Yeah, there were other primes though. It was really only tradition after Optimus, but I mean, you had Zeta Prime and Sentinel Prime who didn't have that particular naming convention. And really, the only one who did was Rodimus Prime, and I think they just wanted to sell it as a new. It was just because they're selling toys, and they wanted to give it a new name or something. So it's still pretty cool, but yeah, definitely that naming convention has definitely stuck around. Zeta isn't a true Prime. Yeah, oh, there's all sorts of backstory for all of those. Especially if you go by the comics. In fact, a long line of those primes leading up to Zeta were not true primes. They just claimed to be prime, but the true matrix of leadership had been lost until it was found by Optimus Prime. But I saw somebody asking about the DJD. Brandon C is asking, when do you think, or if at all, will we get some DJD bots in the game? Unlikely. Because it was hugely popular characters from the comics, but we haven't seen much of them outside of that. We did see something what looked like Tarn in the Cyberverse show, but it wasn't Tarn. They were basically like drones or clones or something. It wasn't actually Tarn. A lot of people got excited, myself included. It's like, oh my gosh, they're gonna have Tarn in this, but it wasn't. It was just some drone bot that looked like him. And as far as figures go, the only official figure that I'm aware of was that really expensive, super detailed figure of Tarn by Flame Toys. There hasn't been any of them out in the main line. Third-party companies have covered, like Mastermind Creations covered the entire DJD, and I have them all, and they're awesome. And even Iron Factory made a set of most of the DJD, like the 5 main guys. But we haven't seen any of them in toy form in the official line, except for, like I said, that Flame Toys Tarn. So I don't think they're really pushing those characters much. And as a result, I doubt we'll see them in the game. I won't say no. I mean, you never... I mean, anyone is possible, but I think it's doubtful. Risky says DJD is brutal, but so were the Wreckers. Yeah. Yeah, but the Wreckers were the good guys. So. SG Sandwich says Tarn needs to be added to the modern Transformers shows and games. Yeah, that would be cool. Universe hate Waspinator-tron, and so does Spider Lady. Why does the universe hate Waspinator? Yeah, there's actually pictures of leaked pictures of Kingdom Waspinator out there. It looks pretty good. I think I like the Generations one that I have a little bit better. That one's also a little special to me because of how I got it. But doesn't mean I won't get the Kingdom one, because it still looks pretty good. I definitely won't be getting rid of the Generations one. Honestly, I'd like to see a Masterpiece Waspinator. I mean, we've got Megatron, we've got Dinobot, Black Arachnia, Optimus Primal, Cheetor, Tigatron, all from Beast Wars in the Masterpiece line, and Waspinator when? Rat Trap when? Rhinox when? Yeah, because right now, I've got all those Masterpiece Beast Wars figures on a shelf, and they're joined by Generations Waspinator, Generations Rhinox, and also Generations Rat Trap. So, this guy's not on that shelf because that Generations Rat Trap was a deluxe figure and much bigger than this little guy, and it fits better, I think, with the Masterpiece size-wise. So, you guys are talking King Kong and Godzilla. Yeah. Yeah, if you think about it, in a way, that's kind of what Optimus Primal and Megatron are. It's kind of like a stand-in for a King Kong and Godzilla type. Although they were basically roughly normal size, the normal size of the animals. That's one thing a lot of people don't think about, because we never really see the crossover between the Maximals and the Autobots. I guess there were a couple of episodes. But a lot of people, because you see them in the toys, and you've got an Optimus Prime figure and Optimus Primal figure, both Voyager class, and they stand roughly the same height. But in reality, If you've got you know, Optimus Prime figure, Optimus Primal is just a gorilla who basically just stands up tall, so he would be very tiny compared to Optimus Prime in reality per scale. But we all know scale doesn't mean anything in Transformers. So Kong Prime and Megazilla, yep. Godzilla doesn't roll out. Optimus, yeah, Optimus Primal doesn't roll out either. I don't think they ever said roll out in Beast Wars, which would make sense because they don't roll. Although I suppose Transmetal they did start getting some vehicle modes. I distinctly remember Rat Trap being like a little toy car with giant big wheels or whatever. So they did get some vehicle alt modes there around, what was it, season 3 maybe, where they started getting the Transmetal stuff, like the third version of Optimus Primal. So their battle cry was maximize, obviously, as we all know. They said rollout in the original Beast Wars cartoon. It's been a while since I've seen it, so Optimal Optimus. Yeah, I can see that, because by that point they did get vehicle modes, like I was just saying, so. No thanks, Nexus Maximus. I don't really want to join you in the Allspark, because that means die. So, no thanks. I'm fine here. I'll join the Allspark a little bit later. Oh, that's right. PB Chew's been working on Vertebrae in Minecraft. Did you get it? Did you get it done? Oh yeah. There we go. Just it's a little dark, but that's just because you know that's the design of the character. But you know, if you look close, you can make out the red eyes there. And the chest is right on. You got that little purple diamond there for the Decepticon faction symbol. And there's a peek at all the other wonderful creations from PB Chew. You even got the detail on the back there. Based on her figure, which omits the tail. Cool. Cool. Nice. Excellent. I'll always look forward to seeing your creations there. Yeah, that's basically what I was saying. The colors aren't great, but it matches her color scheme. I mean, you know, so I think you did a good job doing that. It's just, you know, it's hard to get detail in a figure or drawing or something when it's basically just like all black or all very dark brown, because that's what Vertebrae is, a very dark brown. You know, when you got lights on and you can pick out the highlights and stuff like that, you know, you can kind of see that. But with blocks, I could see that being pretty tricky. So looks great. Looks great. That's a very good point, Lord Monk. With Rat Trap coming, looking forward to the Furman dialogue between him and Dinobot. That should be interesting. Yeah, those two definitely had some great scenes together with their bickering. Yeah, Vertebrae's a cool little figure. So if you find her out there for a reasonable price, these core class figures go for about $10 in the U.S. So if you find Vertebrae out there, it's a pretty cool little figure. Red Alert, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Do I have a Rat Trap figure? I do indeed. This is one of 2 Rat Trap figures I have, but this is probably the closest one. This is the one that inspired them to make him a combat bot, because he was released at the same wave as Vertebrae, in that same scale. I also have the Thrilling 30, I think is what it was, the Generations Rat Trap. So that was more of a deluxe class figure, where these guys are core class, which is kind of like the Scout class. That it used to be called Scout class. They're calling it core class now. Oh, you guys are promoting Windblade now to be Windimus Prime? There's another look at Vertebrae in their robot mode. So I don't know if you can kind of see that she does kind of have some like orange or reddish eyes, which PB2 got there in that little silver part on the chest with the Predacon symbol. I think I said Decepticon for, but it's Predacon. So yeah, excellent job capturing the likeness. Well, they're gonna get that Galvatron tonight. Cool. Yeah, I've got him pre-ordered, but I haven't heard a peep about when he's coming. Yeah, I haven't got much in a while. I did see I got the Iron Factory Void Legion, which is their version of Scourge. I saw that came in stock, but he's gonna sit there a while until I get a few more things in, so I can get free shipping. Shut up, Rat Trap. Why didn't Primus help with the war? Well, I suppose if you think about it, Primus doesn't really take sides, because he created, you know, if you go by the stories, Primus is basically like their god. In a way, he created all Transformers, so he created both Autobots and Decepticons. So, you know, he's not going to get involved and pick a side. So, Buddy got one while he's in St. Augustine. Might swing by a bit later after dropping his wife at the airport. Cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool when you're out of town or something. You know, I don't know about everybody else, but if I'm ever out of town and I got a bit of time on my hands, I usually do swing by the local Walmart or Target or whatever. You know, if there's a comic shop nearby, I might swing in there and see what I can find. Don't always find stuff. It's you oftentimes just as barren as my home stores, but. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that really stands out as, hey, I got this on this trip or whatever. But probably the only thing that just popped in my head is I got Rung, the little Rung figure. I couldn't find him in my stores anywhere, and I was out at Epcot one day, because I go to Epcot a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but regularly. I do go into Epcot every so often, and swung by the Japanese store. It's a very Mitsukoshi is what they call it. It's a very old company in there, and they run that store. So, and it's not really Disney merchandise. It's like, you know, stuff you would find if that was a store in Japan. And of course, Transformers are in Japan, so usually they have a little section with some of the currently running figures or whatever. And one day I stopped in there and I saw Rung sitting there, and the prices are elevated at Disney. There. Plus, also, it's imported from Japan, so you essentially like paying as if you were to buy a Takara figure, which is the same figure, but you're going to pay more because it's from over there. But on the small figures, it wasn't that bad. It was like they're normally what, like $6 or $7 in the U.S., and he was maybe 10 or 12 or something. So it wasn't terribly elevated. You wouldn't see me picking up a deluxe figure there, because I think they go for like 35 or something. That's a little too much of an inflation. But for that one, it wasn't too bad. So I thought it was pretty cool. I picked up Rung at Epcot. So Big Bronze Rim going to be at Disney World next week. Cool. Yeah, just went over to Epcot this past Friday. That's one of the reasons why I didn't do much of the event. They've got their Flower and Garden Festival going on now, and basically, it used to be they had the Food and Wine Festival, and they had all the different stands where you can get all a bunch of different foods, and that turned out to be so popular. Now they have all those stands at every festival now, so we like going out there and trying sampling all the different things. It was pretty fun. Haven't been since 06. Oh, you're going over to Galaxy's Edge at the Hollywood Studios, right? That's a cool place. It's been a while since I've been over there. But I still haven't got my lightsaber. But I mean, it's been hard to get a reservation. Not that I've tried, but with everything that's been going on, so I just figured, it's starting to open up again. I want to wait till everything opens up a little bit better, and a little bit, fully or whatever, and then I'll try again. So one of the cool things about Galaxy's Edge is they have a app, the Disney Play app. I may have mentioned it before. I don't know. But in that app, they have a thing that works with Galaxy's Edge. If you open that up, there's different things you can do there. I don't know how much time you'll have, or if your family will let you. But it's pretty cool. Like the different droids that you might find around, you can hack them. It's like a little mini game, like a little matching pieces or something like that. Or there's like different barcodes you can scan, because it's like a simulated chat in the thing, like you'd be doing a task for the rebels, or the resistance, I think it is at this point, or for the First Order, or for like the smugglers or whatever. They say, hey, go find this crate over here or whatever. Then you'll see crates over there, and with the you think it's just decorations, but one of the crates has a little barcode. You put your thing up, scan it, and then it'll unlock it or whatever. So it's pretty cool. If one of these days I want to go over there and just do that. So I do it a little bit here or there, but it is fun to go do that little thing. You're doing Savvy's workshop? Cool. No need to feel bad, Red Alert. If I really wanted to, I could do all that, but I'm just like, I'm the kind of person who I'm okay waiting. I don't need to be first. So it's good because it's given me a chance to really ponder which lightsaber do I want. What color kyber crystal do I want to choose? Not that I think about it every day, but I think they, when it first opened, you basically picked your saber, and you picked the style that you want, and you had a couple of options no matter which style you picked, and then you put your saber together the way you wanted, and that's what you got. And that was it. There was no way to get modifications for it. I'm pretty sure they actually just added where if you go to that one store, I can't think of the name off the top of my head, the place where you could get the kyber crystals, or you could buy replicas of the Jedi Legends. Pretty sure you can purchase additional parts for your lightsaber. So if you wanted to modify it more, you could, so if you couldn't decide between A and B in your set, you could just pick one of them and then go to the store and buy B. So something like that. So no new figures lately. I think I showed these guys off last time. These are the newest figures I got. These are the World War I Seekers. You know, you can see they're turned into a prop. They're pretty cool. They're pricey, but they're I like them. I like them. Rescue Decepticon purple for the lightsaber. I was thinking about purple. It's interesting though because the colors are kind of opposite. You know, the purple is Decepticon, which is the bad guys in Transformers, and well, only one. We've only ever seen one purple Jedi by Mace Windu, and then the red, which are the Autobots, is actually the dark side sabers. So the cool thing is, if you're not sure what color you want, you can go to that store. I really can't think of the name off the top of my head. But you can purchase additional kyber crystals. I want to say for like $15 or $20 or something. And you could, so if you could choose purple in Savi's workshop. But if you think you might want to, if you're feeling the pull to the dark side, you can go pick up a red crystal over in this, or a blue or a green or whatever. So it's pretty cool. Red Alert has the Mace Windu saber and Luke's Jedi saber. Cool. Yeah. No word on white sabers, though, for like Ahsoka. I don't think there's any white crystals. But what do I think about Titans coming to the game? I think it's going to be cool. Reserving my judgment. I liked the preview that they had, but I'm reserving my judgment until we get more information. And they just kind of it was a teaser. They wanted to get people hyped about it, but they even said that day that they're still months away from even playtesting it. So, but I think it's great that we're finally going to get them. Grand Galvatron, no, I haven't. I'm way behind on reading. What's Grimlock's favorite word in Transformers Earth Wars? I don't know. Rawr? Because he says it all the time if you're on the screen. If you're on the squad select screen, he's constantly going, rawr! Green saber for Hoist. Why didn't I think about that, Fitz? Thank you. Why didn't I think about that? Yeah. I don't know. I like purple though. Purple's pretty cool. Maybe I'll do the purple saber when I go into Savi's and I purchase a green crystal afterwards. Yeah, I think I might do that. Heck, next time I go, I can go ahead and get a green crystal. You don't have to have purchased a lightsaber to get a crystal. You know, you can get all the crystals you want. I don't know if they're still doing it, but I know when it first came out, if you go and purchase like a red crystal, every 25 or 100 or whatever, every certain number of amount of the red crystals that you purchase, you can't see the actual crystal, but if you get it, you could actually get a black kyber crystal. It still lights up the saber as red though, but the crystal itself is actually black, so it's kind of a rare find. Grimlock's favorite word is me, as me, Grimlock. I always want to do his voice like Greg Berger, but man, I just can't get. Voice isn't quite deep enough, and also get that growl, and also still sound halfway decent. And finally turn Omega Supreme into a Titan. Nah, he's gonna stay where he's at in the game. Omega Supreme never was a Titan though, so he's only a Titan class figure because he's a large figure, but he was never a Titan. Titans are full-on cities like Metroplex, Triptychon. Omega Supreme was more of a little battle station or a rocket pad. He was never a full city. And so the fact that you know the toy is a Titan class figure is kind of misleading. He was never a Titan, so being there in the Combiner lab, roughly the same size as a Combiner, is accurate. It's accurate because I mean his nemesis in the cartoon was Devastator, and they're roughly the same size. So he was not a metro size of a Metroplex. So yeah, he was a Guardian, but I'm just saying as far as his alt mode was not a full on city. You know, it was more like it was a rocket launch pad with a little tank track around it. So. Why was he the size of a Titan in War for Cybertron? Well, we never actually saw a Titan in War for Cybertron, did we? You know, I mean, he was big. He was always big. But, you know, different shows have different rules. I mean, in War for Cybertron and even Cyberverse... Was it War for Cybertron? I'm pretty sure War for Cybertron, but definitely Cyberverse. Astro Train was huge! He was actually accurate to his space shuttle size, as opposed to being a normal sized Transformer. So yep, Omega hates the Constructicons. He was friends with them. It was a very sad story. They were friends, but then they got turned by Megatron and then betrayed him, and then he just hated them for the rest of his existence. So yeah, scale never matters in Transformers. Yeah, you'll lose your mind if you try to make sense of the scale. I mean, like Unicron back here, if he was actually in scale, he would be like 1,000 feet tall. If you want to put him in scale with even like a miniature Transformer. I didn't do the math, so I'm not. So 1,000 might be a little big, or it might be a little small. Who knows? But he'd be way bigger than that back there. So scale, just, you know, they try to get scale. The Studio Series actually is in to an extent the War for Cybertron line. They're trying to get a bit of a scale. Like if you notice, like the Hoist figure and Trailbreaker, they were always a little bit bigger characters. So even their deluxe figures are a little bit bigger than some of the other deluxe figures, like Prowl or, you know, Sideswipe or something like that too. And so they are trying to do a little bit more, because I mean, it used to be like, you know, deluxe scale, you're gonna get like 7-inch figure or 8. I don't know. I don't pull out a tape measure. But they were, you could stand them next to each other, and they'd all be basically the same height. These last year or two, you've been seeing, even at the same price point, their heights would be varying, trying to get them as close to scale as possible. But some of them you're just never going to get the right scale, especially like the jets, like Starscream. That jet, if you've ever seen a picture of like a truck next to, like that Optimus would turn into next to a jet, like an F-15 or even an F-22, that the jet is so much bigger than the truck. So really, honestly, I think Transformers Animated is probably the only one who got it right, because the Seekers were huge compared to Optimus and his team. So Xavier Blackwood late again. What did you miss? Alliance event this weekend. At 105,000 points, your Alliance gets 2,500 4-star shards, so you can get yourself a free 4-star crystal. Good luck to you. That's basically it. Hope, you know, more shards and spark throughout the event. And oh yes, also these two guys were announced. Rat Trap and Vertebrake are going to be, believe it or not, combat bots. These are the next combat bots that you're going to see in the game. Yeah, the news was done in about 5 minutes. Well, it wasn't a whole lot of news today. Yeah, so those guys are the new combat bots. We haven't seen who the new bots are going to be next, and we did not learn their abilities yet either. Gameplay? I don't know. Not really feeling it right now. Howard Clyde's been thinking about the girl that liked him. What was her name? Astoria? Carlton Ritz, I think it was her name. She's basically, her names were basically the hotel names. So. Yep. Yes, I forget where. I think it might have been our Discord. Somebody was like, "What's your favorite Transformers couple?" Yeah, and I saw somebody post up Powerglide with Astoria or whatever. I don't know. I kind of liked Sea Spray, and I cannot remember the girl's name. Alana, I want to say. I kind of like that little thing because they had that little magic fountain or whatever. So Sea Spray actually turned into a humanoid, like, you know, but he had still had the robot feet because he messed it up, and she even turned into kind of basically like a robot, you know, Cybertronian type thing or whatever. So that was a pretty cool little story. And what was that the bad guy, that Deceptitran? That was a crazy character. Yeah, they tricked Rumble into becoming a tree. Yeah, that was great. So. Rumble and Frenzy is a favorite couple. They were a couple, all right. No Octopunch like in the game. There was no Octopunch in the G1 cartoon. Only in the comics. Goldfire? What about Goldfire? Yeah, you couldn't lead ant droids to a picnic. I'm pretty sure that there was a T in there. He was like trying to say ant droids. Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to lead ants to a picnic. He said you couldn't lead ant droids. I think was the pun. I may be wrong. Yeah, I always liked when they tried to take a common saying and then like cybertronize it, like ant droids. Just random names now, yeah. Yeah, Goldfire. They got that name from in the IDW comics, Bumblebee got damaged and he got repaired, and it was using like gold fire technology. He never actually changed his name though. He was always just Bumblebee. But he had like gold fire armor or something like that. The toy, however, was named Gold Fire because they wanted to have a different name other than Bumblebee. So that's why he's got the name there. Probably because they couldn't use Gold Bug. And also because the model that they chose is that Gold Fire toy. So. Goldbug in G2. Goldbug actually showed up in Season 3. Didn't he? Pretty sure. I wanna say like when Optimus Prime got resurrected during that little 5-episode Season 3, or no, Season 4. Season 4. Like that little 5-episode thing where they resurrected Optimus Prime. I want to say he was Goldbug by that time. I might be wrong. It's been a while, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I don't know. I'm probably thinking of that Rude Awakening of Optimus Prime video out there on YouTube. I've probably watched that more than I've, or certainly recently, than I watched Season 4. It's pretty funny though, by the way. It's bad language and all that, but go check out the Rude Awakening of Optimus Prime. Then there's also another Rude Awakening, which is done by a different person, but also funny. In fact, I think I have them in a playlist on my channel. So I have a playlist on my channel. I've got quite a few of them, but it's called Funny Transformer Videos. I think Funny TF Videos. So if you're looking for some funny stuff, go down there and watch some of that stuff. Yeah, I can't really say some of my favorite lines from Rude Awakening because, like I said, the language is pretty bad. It's definitely R-rated language. Yes, it's the second Rude Awakening was Epic Voice Guy. He did all of the voices in that, by the way. I think he's got the voices that he did Optimus Primal and Optimus Prime and Rat Trap and Cheetor. And Rhinox, I think, was in there. He did all of the voices. Now, there's two Rude Awakenings. So the first one was using G1 cartoons where Skylinks and where the Quintesson goes and wakes up Optimus Prime. The one based on Beast Wars was the second. I want to say it's called Another Rude Awakening. Yep, that's right, PB2. The Epic Voice Guy. He's done a lot of videos with Optimus Prime. He even was doing reviews for a while. Prime reviews. He actually had like some hands and gloves or whatever, where it looked like it was Optimus Prime reviewing toys. So, and he did his Optimus Prime voice. So it was like Optimus Prime reviewing Transformers figures, which were pretty good. And it wasn't just standard review. He threw some humor into it. And he even did like the first season of Combiner Wars, that failed Combiner Wars show as Optimus Prime. And finally, he actually kind of hit the big time, so to speak, doing Soundwave and Shockwave and Bumblebee movie, which is what you're saying there. Yeah. He actually, if you go back to some of my early Earth Wars videos, he actually did like a little tag for Earth Wars in the early days. Just like a little outro, you could say like, download Transformers Earth Wars now, or whatever. So, and he gave it to those of us making videos to use. So some of my early videos on Transformers Earth Wars ended with a tag with him doing that, his voice there. Think we'll ever get Shattered Glass characters? Probably not. Again, I never rule anything out. I'm never going to say never, except for maybe paddles or wheelie. But even then, I'd say 99.9% sure. I'm still going to leave the sliver. So, but I'll classify some of those things as highly unlikely. So, oh, yeah. I think I need to get going too. I was pretty tired starting this starting the stream, but we got going pretty good, you know. So if Wheelie shows up, he'll be a combat bot, you know, like Rat Trap or Vertebrake here, and he's basically a combat bot for Studio Series Grimlock already. So yeah. Yeah, it was a busy weekend. It's been a busy week too. I'm just, yeah. But I thank you all for coming out and hanging out for the very short news stream and this little chat afterwards and all that. So, and with that, I think I'll do my sign off. I'm Engineer Hoist. Keep rolling, my friends. We'll see you.